let's see. It's going to be an interesting match, and here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Tal'Darim Altar. Mr. Lord Frisia, would you be kind enough to please give the introductions?
I'd be honored. So, guys, spawning in the top left corner, we have our teal Protoss player, Dusaro, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have our red Protoss player, Starofdeath. Coming into this matchup, I'm expecting a good match from Dusaro. He was telling me before the game how he's very confident in his PvP build, and I don't know, I guess I'd like to see a great game out of Starofdeath too. He seems to be a confident enough player, but I don't know how confident you could be in the Bronze League. I guess we'll find out.
There are many people in Bronze League who take their game very seriously, so we'll have to see just how well Starofdeath does and how Dusaro does. I've actually seen Dusaro play before. I actually think a long time ago I ran into him on a ladder and he creamed me, but he probably doesn't remember that because I had a different username then, but I do have a vague recollection of that occurring, so...
Well, that should be fun. Then we know he's a great player. I mean, he tells me how he hosts his own tournaments, and I don't know if you've ever seen the Daywalker, but the guy who runs those, his name's To Live and To Die, I believe. He helps him out with his.
Beautiful. Well, there
so,
you go.
Yeah, pretty cool. He's really getting into the community, and that's what I like to see at low-level play.
Oh yes, that's the whole thing, and that's why this tournament exists as well, is for lower league play to get involved into the whole community of StarCraft. And our community is a big one, and the more people we can get, the merrier.
Yeah, I'm kind of actually disappointed to find out that League of Legends has more viewers than StarCraft does. Did you know that?
I did know that. IEM, they had 250,000 viewers, and I think the reason being is just because Dota-like games are very, they're popular more so than StarCraft is. I think due to their simplicity to follow, because this game can be rather complicated to follow. I know sometimes I get confused in what I'm looking at. Like, could we, for example, be seeing 2 racks expand, or could we be seeing something a little bit more interesting out of Dusaro? Could we be seeing a 4-gate coming out of Starofdeath? We're not sure yet. Like,
well,
so this game is so much more complicated than other Dota-like games, and you know, I'd love to see StarCraft get more viewers.
Yep, I definitely agree with you there. The probe did get shot off there. What I found was interesting about Starofdeath's scouting probe, he went to the top base, then all the way across the map, then up to the top, then up to the other base. So he made like a backwards N shape, and I don't know, that's just never... I don't think that's the optimal way to scout. I think going across the map like that takes extra time, but I don't know. What do you think about that?
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, it might only be Antigua Shipyard, but does the MLG version force cross positions on this map as well?
I don't think it does on this map in particular, but it might. I could be wrong on that. I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, well, look at this. We have 3 racks coming out of Dusaro and a gas. Oops, I just clicked on something. So, where do you see this going for our Terran player?
I don't know. I'm looking at a Mass Marine right now, but he is taking the gas, so I'm not quite sure. The thing is, you know, he's taking the gas extremely late, so I'm not quite sure what he's going for. Maybe he has some optimization for this build that I'm not so sure about, but this is new to me. What I find interesting is on his mineral line, he's got 2 SCVs following 1 SCV and not actually doing any mining. So if you take a look at the worker set, it's 18 to 16, but those 2 aren't actually working, so it's actually equal in number. Thought that was funny.
Oh, Dusaro, my dear man. I hope he notices that soon, but something like that, it's not easily noticed, and it may go the entire game before he actually sees that.
Yeah,
which is,
you know, it adds up when it's this early in the game, too. If it's a late game match, you just lost a lot of minerals.
Indeed. Well, I still can't really see what Starofdeath is exactly doing. He has a lot of gas. Oh, well, there you go. He's going to go for a 3-gate robo.
Pretty late, if you ask me.
Which is, yeah, I'd say it's extremely late, actually. You want to get that down as soon as possible. His warp gate is actually on time.
Yeah, they had a pretty fast warp gate, but I mean, all in all, he is taking the second gas, which is fine. Only 2 harvesters on that second one. You should have 3, but I think maybe eventually he'll realize that. I think what this is going to boil down to is his robo-tech is going to be really late, and we're not really seeing any Marauders out of Dusaro, so I think any type of Immortals would be not necessary anyway.
We also have Oh, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, even though he has the tech lab, he's still sticking with the mass marine play, taking a combat shield before stim, so...
I actually partially agree with this.
Really?
And I'll tell you why. It's because he hasn't got a starport yet, and to get stim and then to use it, he won't have the medevacs to heal his marines, and that can be pretty deadly when facing off against sentry stalkers and zealots. I can see he's being slightly mindful here of that. But if he did go for maybe double tech lab and went into a straight starport and went MMM, Marine Marauder Medevac, then I would have totally agreed with getting stim first. And he's actually supply blocked right now, Dusaro is. I don't know if he's creating another...
No, he's not at the moment. There it is, finally. I don't know, personally, I always think stim is the better option to start out with. I play Terran myself, and I just think that even though it's early game, like you're saying, it just adds so much value. When you have an army solely of Marines like this, I don't know, I just feel like it adds so much more value, because I'm thinking right now, his mentality is this army is probably going to die anyway. It's either going to win or die.
Right.
And if you're expecting the army to die anyway, the stim is probably more helpful than hurtful, and I don't know, I guess I don't know which one's necessarily better, but he isn't doing kiting right now. These zealots are getting excellent shots off, and this army's just falling to pieces.
Unfortunately, he did get a nice little trade on the zealots, though. He took out a couple of them. I didn't quite see how many, and I can't remember how to access that screen.
It's Control R.
Yeah, Control R. I knew that. Well, starofdeath took out all of that, which was 21 Marines, and Dusaro got about 6 units off of starofdeath, so not exactly an even trade. And here comes a scary push across the map from starofdeath.
I was at first criticizing his Robo Bay, but now I think this Immortal's going to be doing great damage against these bunkers, so you know what, it might have been a great idea overall.
Well, Dusaro does see this push coming, as he does control both of those towers on starofdeath's side of the map, which I'd say is excellent. Very, very excellent of Dusaro to do that, because he can see this coming and he can prepare for it.
Yeah, that's another little low league mistake people make, is not controlling the watchtowers when possible, and it's going to give Dusaro a huge advantage in this push, and right now I don't think he has what it takes to hold this off. It's going to take some crazy force fields,
Well, he does have 2 bunkers, almost 3 bunkers ready, and we shall see what happens here. He does have his SCVs repairing that bunker, which is brilliant. Not every bronze level player knows to do that. I will tell you that right now. I once played a Terran player who let his entire command center burn down after I attacked him. No, there was such thing as repair. And starofdeath is retreating. Do you think he should have kept pushing there, or do you think that was a good idea for him to retreat?
I think it would have taken some really good force fields, like force fielding almost in a triangle around those bunkers to actually make that push worth going it for. So actually I do agree with pulling back, because I don't think he has the micro at this level required to do it. He would need to force field the bunkers so that these that these SCVs can't actually repair them, and quite frankly I don't think he knows to do that, so I think he made the right decision in pulling back.
Yeah, well, good idea. And oh, did he actually notice those SCVs finally? He did. Look, they're one thing I'd really like to see Dusaro get right now, he needs to press that S button and get that siege tank tech. That is so very important if he's going to do that. There's a tech lab sitting here, he may as well use it. Starport finally going down, although I'd say it's extremely late. It's the 12:30 mark.
Yeah, it didn't exactly suit the build he was going for, and his initial push didn't go as well as planned. I think that push would have been really forceful if starofdeath hadn't gone for some kind of all-in type play. But I think Dusaro should have realized that on this map, it's sort of like a 4-gate heaven, you know what I mean?
Indeed. We do have starofdeath expanding to not his natural, but to pretty much his 4th. I would honestly, this natural is nice and easy to take. It's not that incredibly difficult to defend, especially if you have a nice little army sitting there. But we do also have a Twilight Council on the way. There's nothing going in it. Oh my
Dark
goodness!
Shrine.
Dark Shrine.
Bum,
And,
bum, bum.
Well, the old adage, "When behind dark shrine," doesn't apply here, because I actually think that Stardeath is a wee bit ahead right now.
I think if Star of Death were to make this push right now and engage these guys outside the bunker, he might be able to do some serious damage.
Ooh, poor Zealot.
Never had a chance.
Not a chance at all. Stardeath, when he watches this video, I want him to take this piece of knowledge. When your Nexus completes, take 4 or 5 probes